Your Shadow was a song that we wrote a long time ago, and there's two ways to look at that song. Robert thinks that it was about our brothers, being behind their shadow. We were always perceived as the younger brothers of Quiet Riot during that era, when Rudy and Carlos were in that band. So we kind of wrote a song about it, but to me, lyrically, it's saying about being involved with someone that you had a really great relationship, and it's been kind of waned a little bit, and you still love the person and they still love you, but like some of the "Give Me the Eyes" you used to in the past and things like that. That tells me that you're kind of like settled into this like boring routine life.
Listen to the Vibes.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Listen to the Vibes, and I'm very happy to welcome the band Hurricane. We'll start with Tony. Everybody,
how's it going?
Yourself.
Tony Cavazo. I play bass for Hurricane.
Mike Hansen, drums.
Robert Sarzo, lead guitarist, rhythm player.
Well, y'all have released a new album, and it's been, 20 years?
A little over that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Wow. You guys formed all the way back in 83?
83 is when Robert and I met, and we decided to get together and start writing material and then putting a band together, which is when we came across Kelly Hansen and another drummer, which eventually ended up Jay Schellen on drums. And both those guys went on to do their respective careers, Kelly with Foreigner, of course, and Jay with Yes right now. So kudos to those guys.
So you keeping the tradition, the music is, it takes me back to the 80s, and I appreciate that. Not real crazy about some of the new stuff that's out nowadays. So you keep old farts like me happy.
Well, we're much old farts too, so
we're old farts too.
Ourselves happy.
You can change people, and so we'll keep producing music like that as well. It's not like we're going to change our style just to kind of blend in. We are who we are, and we like what we do. So yeah, we're all fun.
So what made y'all decide to get back together?
The food was really good on tour. No, Tony and I reconnected through mutual friends back in 2010, and we just kept playing, doing other projects. So when Tony moved back to Los Angeles, we joined again, and it's been taking us a while to actually put all the pieces together. Mike Hansen's been with us also about 14 years now, so he's been part of Hurricane for quite a while. And we tour with Queensryche, we tour with several other people. So we've been doing a lot of local shows and trying to just come up with the right timing. And I think it had a lot to do also being able to have Dan Schumann now part of the team.
Yeah, so we had to find the right guy to be the lead singer of the band, and during COVID is when we really decided to start putting the album together. We already had a couple of songs recorded before that, but we really started focusing during COVID because, there was no other gigs that we could do. So we did that, and that's basically when we found Dan. We found Dan through Andy Freeman from Last in Line. He recommended Dan. He gave us his number, and we talked to Dan, and we were supposed to do the M3 festival, and this was like a couple years ago, and we didn't have a singer, so we got Dan, and he did a fantastic job. So we asked him to join the band.
Now, these songs that are on the album, is this stuff that y'all had on the back burner, or is this all new stuff you've written recently?
It's all big stuff. Some of it was older, and some of it are newer, like Rockstar Cheetah was the last one that we wrote. So it's all big stuff. But again, we wanted to all the songs have different messages. Hopefully that's something that the audience will understand as you approach it.
Yeah, we had songs that were sitting, in the can for several years. Like Behind Your Shadow, for instance, that's one that we wrote back in the 80s. And we modernized it a little bit compared to what it was, with Dan and Mikey on drums. And then the Hand of Souls, that's a song that we wrote, that I came up with, and we had that in my project probably at least 10 years. Rockstar Cheater is an idea that Mike came up with, and Mikey, if you'd be so kind to tell him the story behind that song, that would be great.
Yeah, well, Rockstar Cheater is about my divorce. So for those that had divorces, just keying onto the words there. It's a true story. I mean, all of our stuff on this record is a true story, pretty much. It's we take you through a little journey. So this one happens to be about divorce, and we wanted to put a big banger on the album, so that's the song we did. And then then from there, the other guys came up with really, everybody kind of came up with their own ideas, and everybody brought stuff to the party, and then we all worked together on everything, and that's what we came up with. That's how this album formed.
I look at the window from the other side of the room.
Hand of Souls, for instance, that's a song about somebody that inspired you in your lifetime, has since passed away, and they're still part of your life because of the inspiration they gave you throughout your life. And you can no longer see them or feel them, but you feel them inside your heart. And they, the Hand of Souls, and it could be more than one person. It could be, your grandmother, your grandfather, anybody like that. Hand of Souls. So they touched you, and they inspire you in your life today. That's what that song is basically about.
And when I was working on the lyrics with Tony on Hands of Souls, we were going right through COVID, and we saw a lot of people lose their loved ones, and there was a lot of really intense, strong images that they were showing on television that they had, the grandparents inside of the nursing homes. A lot of them passed away, but their kids were outside. They couldn't touch them, so that's how we came up with the idea of handprints on the window, lift me up to the sky, just lift your soul up to heaven.
Behind Your Shadow was a song that we wrote a long time ago, and there's two ways to look at that song. Robert thinks that it was about our brothers, being behind their shadow. We were always perceived as the younger brothers of Quiet Riot during that era, right, when Rudy and Carlos were in that band. So we kind of wrote a song about it, but to me, lyrically, it's saying about being involved with someone that you had a really great relationship, and it's been kind of waned a little bit, and you still love the person, and they still love you, but like some of the "Give Me the Eyes" you used to in the past and things like that. That tells me that you're kind of like settled into this like boring routine life together, and that's kind of what most people go through when they're married. They settle into this boring routine life, and that's kind of what the song is about to me. But Robert perceives it differently.
Back in the early 80s when metal was really coming on the scene, the bands, they I guess got to really control what they put on the albums. And then as the popularity was growing and the record companies decided they were going to step in and say, you're going to make this kind of song, you're going to make this kind of song. I think every album had to have a party theme and then a ballad. were y'all in total control of what you decided you wanted on this album?
No, actually we weren't. The record company, we had several songs that we submitted to them, and they picked the ones that they wanted, and not with Reconnected, but I'm talking about the earlier albums,
Right.
The Hurricane albums. With Reconnected, that's our whole thing. We did that all on our own, made those decisions ourselves. But the earlier albums, the record company, they picked what song was going to be the first single and what songs they wanted on the record. So we had very little control over that. But, we tried to write the songs that best suited what we were about. And we submitted those, and they liked them. We used some songwriter songs, which most bands do these days. Most bands use songwriter songs, and it's part of the process and part of the business these days.
Yeah, outside writers is normal. Yeah.
The record companies, when they took control of everything, I think they ran into the ground. And then the next
they didn't let the
flavor,
artists who they want to be.
right.
Well, yeah. And some of these guys aren't even musicians back then. They were just corporate guys. They didn't know anything about music.
I saw a resurgence in the early part of the 2000s, and then I don't know, just kind of drifted away. Do you feel like it's coming back again?
I do.
Yeah, me too.
Bands like Metallica, they're out there and they're selling out more than Taylor Swift, for instance. They're doing a lot better, and they have these big festivals. They have them all over the world every year, and they're all about metal. The sound of metal has changed a little bit. It's gotten a little bit harder and a little bit more edgier compared to what it was in the 80s. And I think it's a good thing. The metal is really picking back up. People are starting to enjoy it again. Because what else is there other than maybe country music, which a lot of people do like country music, including me. I can listen to some country music, but there's really not much else out there, that says anything. It's kind of stagnant right now. So metal is really the right now, in my opinion, it's a spearhead of what's going on right now. And bands like Metallica and Motley Crue and all these bands they're keeping it alive.
Yeah, Guns N' Roses,
Yeah, all those great bands, and they're keeping it alive.
Def Leppard. Alice Cooper keeps us going, man.
Yeah,
I heard that.
Dude, that guy never stops working, man. What a great gig. You never stop working. You got to beg for a vacation.
With streaming services now, like Spotify and Apple Music, y'all finding it harder to make money? I mean, other than having to go on tour all the time?
Yeah, I mean, right now, I truly believe that musicians and the artists that are writing, the songwriters that put stuff on Spotify, they're getting screwed. They really are. And, we'll be screwed too. And a lot of artists are taking their songs off Spotify right now. As a matter of fact, I mentioned Taylor Swift. She's one of the first persons to do that. And Neil Young did it as well. And so if you want their album, I don't know how you would get it. I guess you would go to their website and buy the album on their website, I would imagine. But something's got to be done with all these streaming services, because the artists, it's their art. They put all the time and effort into it to deliver a good product. Spotify puts it on, and then they make all the money.
Mm-hmm.
Make like a percentage of a penny for every time it's listened to, for every spin. We get a percentage of a penny.
Well, I'll just put it on repeat and leave it on all day and all night. How's that?
Yeah.
Well, Kyle, Kyle, what's interesting is I'm so surprised. I mean, that there's not been somebody clever and smart enough to break the formula that these people brought in with this whole taking everything from us. I'm shocked that there's nobody out there that's smarter in the next chapter here to change all that, to make it proper for us again. I mean, I'm just mind boggled on that, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, there is a site called Bandcamp. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
I know Bandcamp. I got friends that put their stuff on there.
I know they're trying. I mean, at least you go on and you buy the song and it's yours. I think the singles are like 99 cents.
Yeah, and DistroKid is another one.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, so early.
Distro Kid.
Well, I love the LPs. You know, the
Yep.
actual record in my hand. I miss having that album, the artwork. You know, sometimes you open them up and there'd be something extra in there, like a poster, or you know how it was back in the day.
Well, it's that way now. That's the way our new album is packaged.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah, we got LPs coming out and CDs coming out, as well as the streaming services. So if people want a hard copy, something they can hold in their hand, they can get it on the Deco Entertainment or the Escape Music Ltd websites. They can order it. So that's it.
Yeah. And the album is cool, Kyle, because we did it old school to where like you could sit there and like we did when we were kids and listen to the record and just read all the credits and all the things. We did all that. We put pictures of us recording on the thing too as well. So you can see like live pictures like they did back in the day where you could see like, you know, just small snippets of how they were creating it in their studio or whatever they did, live shots, whatever, right? And collaging. Yeah, so it takes you through that journey. And like Tony said, we got an insert with all our names autographed. I mean, the record label, you know, Deco sent it to all of us individually. You know, we had a little, like a train, and we all signed them individually and sent them back to the label. So everything's legit. It's not some kind of like copy print stuff.
No,
it's real. It's all real.
No two autographs are exactly alike. So
right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
The only thing making it difficult, though, is that it's so costly to make the vinyl.
It is, but I think it's going to change eventually because I think the supply and demand is changing for vinyl.
Do you think
for the better? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
for the better, for sure. It's going to pick back up, and because vinyl actually does sound better than CD or streaming. It's got that warmer sound, and that's why, like you, for instance, you want to have it in your hand and look at it and listen to it. We got limited edition vinyl coming out where the records are actually going to be gold colored. There's only going to be 100 of those printed. And then I think the next one will be silver.
No, silver's the first one.
Oh, silver's the first one, and then the gold ones. And then after that, there'll be regular black vinyl. But the first 200 are going to be special editions, the silver and then the gold, where the actual disc itself is a gold color rather than black and then silver colored. So those will be collectibles for this album anyway.
Is there any plans of maybe recording a concert and put it on DVD?
Yeah,
we talked about that. Remember, we've been trying to do that, Tone. Remember, we tried to do that up in St. Paul. We were going to do it. It was just so hard with the amount of notice that we had to do it. But yes, we've talked about doing a live album.
Yeah.
Oh, doing a whole album live too, huh?
Yeah, like the old days. Yeah.
Oh, man. That would be sweet. I miss those too.
We'd love
Me
to do
too,
that.
man. Me too.
There's just a magic when you're catching it all live and everybody is right along together.
Yep.
It would be a live album with a DVD that goes with it. Kind of like that Black Sabbath 13 that I bought, that, which is a really good price. They have them on sale for $13. So I bought the live DVD, and it comes with the album, the 13 album. And it's a live performance of them that you can actually watch, and it's at some concert they did, I think in Australia. It's a great DVD.
What do you guys like to do outside of music?
Well, I'm a high-end finisher. I do like I like restore furniture.
Mm-hmm.
Kitchen cabinets. I do lacquer. I shoot nitro lacquer still. So I do all that kind of stuff. So yeah, if you want your bedroom set done, just send it to me.
My wife might want to talk to you because that's what she likes to do.
Yeah, that's what I do. Well, move over. No.
So what about you, Tony?
Well, I like to try to get a little exercise every now and then. And I like to do stuff outside, like go on walks and, go up into the mountains, things like that. I'm more of a mountain kind of a guy rather than a beach guy. And, most of the time I do spend doing something musical. But when I do have free time, I just want to hang out, and just enjoy life, whatever it may be. And I'm open to doing a lot of different things, but like hobbies, I too work with my hands. I was a finished carpenter for 25 years, and I installed hundreds and hundreds of houses, doors and, stool and apron on windows and, crown mold, all that kind of stuff. And for 25 years. So, I still have all my tools, and I still, get out there and play around with them every now and then, help my wife with her projects, because she builds these guitars behind me. And for instance, this guitar is made out of all cork. It's not a playable instrument, but it's a work of art. It's made with cork on it, and it's got lighting behind it. My wife makes these, and I help her do that, with the tools that we have. And then she made this one here. This is like Robert's signature model, the Voodoo model from Sawtooth Guitars. And so, they're really cool. People freak out when they see them. And she's got Eddie Van Halen models coming out pretty soon too. So she's gonna market those and sell them. They're really interesting to look at, and you can put them behind your TV in your TV room and turn it on, and it lights up the whole room with a real nice hue, and you can watch TV. It's not too bright, and the music from the TV will make the light color change. So they're very cool.
Wow.
You can set it on your phone. There's an app on your phone with the lighting that she used, and when you're playing stereo, the lighting will dance to the music.
No way.
Yeah. So they're very cool. Like this is the first one that she made, and I help her with it. I get out there and, I give her ideas, and she likes to do all the work by herself because it's her baby, but I help her when she asks me to.
Is there any obstacles that you've come across in life that you really had to overcome? We'll start with Tony.
Okay. My obstacle in life to overcome was, trying to get back into who I was in the music industry, because I took 10 years or longer off. I didn't play my bass set under my bed for that long, and the only reason why I was still interested in music is because I picked up classical guitar, and I started studying in classical guitar books and learning classical pieces and everything like that. And that kind of kept me focused on learning music. And then this was back when I lived in Tennessee. And then when I moved back to California, a lot of my musical friends knew I was coming back, and they wanted to get together and jam. And I ended up playing in cover bands as a result of that. But yeah, getting back into the music industry, because I kind of lost myself for 10 years. I quit. I was frustrated with the music industry, and I quit. And then when I left, I was told, you need to get back in the music industry. You need to get back because that's who you are. And people were telling me that. And so I kind of listened to what they were saying. And, it was depressing me, to not be able to play and perform. And I'm still glad I hung on to my old bass. I still have it to this day. So.
Awesome. How about you, Mike?
Well, for me, I think one of the hardest things I had to go through was about 5 months before the pandemic hit. My dad called me and said he had a year to live with cancer. And, I grew up in Chicago, but I lived in LA for 36 years. So, that was my home, was Los Angeles. So not knowing that the pandemic was happening, nothing, none of us knew that was happening. So I basically gave up my life in LA. And, I had a lucrative business that did well, which I had a high-end finishing company besides music. And, I catered to the celebrities. So, I was doing $50 million homes. I had a crew of 15 guys for 25 years, just like Tony was doing it 25 years. And, so I kind of just put everything down. And I said to my dad, I'm on my way. There was no even question. So I gave up my whole life in LA, and I moved back to Chicago. And it was my mom and me and my dad. I lost two brothers, so they're already gone. So I'm the only one left, and I'm the oldest of the family, of the kids. And so I came back to be with my dad for the last year. And, I guess because when the pandemic hit, it kind of shut everything down. And so, the world became equivalent to everybody at that time. So it was almost like God, I hate to say it, even though it was as hardcore as it was for everybody, and everybody had a different dynamic, but by having the virus, it gave me the opportunity when the world shut down to spend that quality time with my dad that I needed without worrying about, getting funding for living, bills, and all different things that we all have to worry about. And it gave me that time. So my father's a guitar player, and he used to play with Barbara Mandrell. And so anyways, we got to record together and all kinds of things. And, and then in the meantime, of course, we did this Hurricane record too. So there's a lot of things that happened that time. So that would probably be I wouldn't call it a setback though, but kind of is, but kind of not. But my life totally changed. And I did a full circle life. I mean, that I know that a lot of people don't ever get to experience. And I'll tell you what, it's quite the ride, man. I'll tell you that. It's not a negative thing. It's just different, man. It really just, if you want to know about reality, that's reality. And that's basically, so what I did was I set up a recording studio here at the house, and, we did Hurricane's album remotely. So the whole album was done remotely. So, Tony's got a studio, Robert does, Dan does, and I do. And matter of fact, I don't even know if you can see it there, but there's a lot of my stuff right there, and my drums and all, right? So luckily enough, I have such great endorsements that kicked me down a lot of gear and helped me out and got me up and running. So besides Hurricane, I do a lot of records with other people too. I've actually got 6 albums I'm working on this year with 6 different projects. Yeah. But anyways, back to what we were saying, my biggest challenge was coming to Chicago and changing my whole life that way. That was big, man. That was big.
Plans to make another album?
We'll see. Right now we're focused on just this record and seeing if it gets any traction. It's all up to the people now. We did what we were supposed to do, and we got re-released. It's going to be released on Friday.
Yeah, the 25th.
Yeah. And, if it gains traction, we're going to tour with it. And then if it warrants producing a new album, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, I hope so, because I enjoyed every bit of it.
Oh, thanks, dude. I appreciate it.
It seems like you have 1 or 2 songs on an album that you can listen to, and the rest of it you kind of skip over. I can listen to this all the way through. Y'all guys have a website?
Yeah, it's hurricaneofficialrockband.com.
And how about social media?
Well, we're all on Facebook and TikTok, I think it is.
Yeah. Well, everything is on the links are all on the website. So if you go on our website, all those social media links are right there. You just tap on and boom, they're all linked in. It's the fastest way to do it.
Yeah, right.
Well, I do like to share that in the description to make it easier for people to find you. And
sure. It's hurricaneofficialrockband.com. Yep.
Well, thank you so much, guys, for coming on my show. I can't tell you how much I appreciate
Kyle,
it.
We appreciate it too.
Yeah, we appreciate you too, man. I appreciate that a lot. And we appreciate you like the record. We appreciate you. We appreciate your wife. We appreciate everything.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
And Robert missed out on a good time.
And
yeah.
if you guys have something in the future you want to come back on, you're more than welcome.
Okay,
cool.
Well, thank you, Kyle.
Thank you for the open invitation, man.
Yeah, of course. And I want to thank all you folks out there. If you are new to the channel, I hope you'll come back. Hit that subscribe button. And for my regulars, you guys rock because you make it possible for me to do this. And until the next one, everyone, please take care. Be kind to one another. God bless and peace.
You're holding up your edge with diamonds on your